Welcome to another exciting episode of the IsaacBoyz podcast. Dwayne the Ghost, alongside Terrorizing, coming at you guys with episode 103? 102? Episode 103.
I think it's
Episode 103.
Yeah, we're a little bit out of it because we didn't do one last week. Got really busy last week. So much stuff to do.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of deadlines to meet, and things just didn't play out. So we're a little confused as to what number we are.
Yeah,
But
a little behind, but all that aside, definitely glad to be here. Definitely glad to be back on the podcast. And as always, we thank you guys for tuning in. As always, continue to support us, check us out. And as for your lounge updates, business as usual for the most part.
business as usual. A lot of, we still we not as much as last week, but we did get some new foot traffic.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people saw the lounge for the first time.
Which is always good. As long as we're getting that new foot traffic, I think we're on the right track.
Yep.
We're getting some more repair requests.
Yeah.
We got someone came in to see if we can fix their Xbox, which tried my best. Unfortunately, with all the power outages that's been going on over these past weeks. If you live in the Virgin Islands, live in St. Thomas especially, WAPA has been on a tear lately, and apparently killed someone's Xbox, which is like, I've been there. I've definitely been there. So I thought I could help. Unfortunately, it was destroyed beyond repair, so I couldn't do anything with that. And then we have a switch to repair as well. Probably this weekend.
Sometime this week we got to switch to repair. So it's always fun when we get to do repairs because for some reason and the thing is I know there's a lot of broken switches out there. Just really haven't gotten the
People don't know that we exist and we do these things.
that we do these things. Yeah, we just gotta do a better job of marketing as usual. A lot of things rolling out for the next week though. We do have tournament coming up following week Monday.
Yes, we do have the Yu-Gi-Oh tournament, which you
So-
mentioned last week, but bring it up again here because it's closer.
Mm-hmm.
And it's gonna be good. It's gonna be a lot of fun. It's very highly anticipated. As you know, we do our utmost, our best to support the Yu-Gi-Oh community here. So we definitely like giving those guys, things to do and show them support and all that. So, and hopefully we get some new turnouts. We're trying to get some of the because there's a lot of new people in the group.
In the group, but
They don't come out to
the events.
the events. So,
But we have been speaking to them and have some of the other people from the U group speak to them. So we'll see what comes of it. We still have a whole week to see if if they'll bite on the bait. But all in all, Yu-Gi-Oh still rolling strong for the lounge. It's it's surprisingly something that again we didn't really plan initially, but it's been
good.
been really good for us. And
Supporting the lounge and
supporting
getting
the
things
lounge,
doing.
it pays the bills. So
100%. And also, we mentioned the week before about the project that we're working on. I don't think we touched on it last week because it wasn't quite done, but it's complete now. Unfortunately, we don't have it to show. But
yes,
you can check out Kareem Colwood's Facebook page and I think his website as well. And you can see the figure that we made for him, which came out pretty good. All things considered, consider that with the equipment that we have.
and the skills that we have,
And the limited skills
the
that we
lack
have.
of skills that we have,
It came out pretty solid.
came out really good. People have been. I was hearing all good things. People thought it was like
Professionally done.
professionally done. It is professionally done because I did it. So,
There you go.
but people were thinking he sent away to get it made, but it was actually hand painted by yours truly. So.
Yep. It was made right here in St. Thomas, which a lot of people still can't believe. So, so much so that it could be a potential side hustle for us.
Yeah. Even Kareem, who commissioned us to make the piece, he's come back to his people. People have been asking him to buy him, like they want to buy him.
Mm-hmm.
So,
We're
We
still
didn't-
trying to figure that out.
yeah, because we didn't plan on it, and we're not set up for like
Mass production.
mass production, but we can make some things happen, and it does take a while to make. It's not, because when you paint, you want to put multiple coats on just to make sure that it's really on there.
It's a nice thick layer, and not to mention it takes a couple hours to print.
Just to print one, yeah. Which I still need to go into the settings. I think I can get it to print quicker. I was looking up some stuff. I think I probably can get it to print a little quicker. But it also depends on the resin as well. So, and I didn't want to experiment with some new resin, so I was going to use that opportunity to experiment with the settings. Still haven't done that though. But looking like it might be another thing that we do here, make figures and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, when we initially got the 3D printer, that was
we thought about it.
We thought about it.
The idea,
but
now it's looking like it's actually going to be a thing.
I mean, I still would like to nail down a few more techniques in my painting first before I would
commit to something like that. I think we definitely need a bigger 3D printer as well, so we can potentially print multiple at a time.
Multiple at a time, or even bigger figures.
That too. But yeah,
need to re-up on some paint too.
Re-up on some paint, re-up on some materials like resin and all that good stuff. So yeah, we got a lot of cool thing. And again, like if you want to check it out, there are pictures of it on Kareem Callwood's Facebook page. As he just had an event, a new release for his new comic books.
His new comic book, yep.
Which is pretty cool. Seeing that the something that he started continuing to grow and becoming this thing, and the people of the Virgin Islands are gravitating toward it. They're getting behind it, which is cool. Because a lot of times people do cool stuff, like speaking from example,
yep.
do cool things, and people don't notice or it's not getting the support that it could get. But it's good to see that that people are gravitating towards this comic book, and how far it's come and everything. It's a cool thing, and for us, the little part that we play in it, it's a super cool thing.
Yep. I mean, Kareem's a good friend of ours, and I definitely want to see his work improve and continue to grow.
Mm-hmm.
So, shout outs to him. If you're not familiar with him, you can check out his Facebook. Kareem Callwood is Kareem with a K.
Mm-hmm.
Shouldn't be that hard to find.
Or you can just Google search VI Guardian, and you'll see some stuff there.
So,
we got our own superhero.
Yep, Virgin Islands has their own superhero.
Cool thing.
Good stuff.
All right, let's move right along. We'll get into what's coming out this week.
I was looking at the lineup. It's the Capcom Fighting Collection. It's pretty much just
some old classics.
Your Street Fighters, your Fighting Evolution, Capcom Fighting Evolution.
Yeah, those
Darkstalkers.
Those Capcom fighting games. Those classics.
Yeah, those classics are coming out.
Which we grew up on, which is cool. They're all gonna be in one nice package.
And a game that we covered here at the lounge, on the podcast, couple times. Naraka Bloodpoint is being released on the 22nd. So that's
22nd.
Yeah.
That's pretty close.
Pretty close. A few
Almost
days
there.
from now.
It's already downloaded on my Xbox, so
It's already downloaded on mine as well. So
looking forward to that.
definitely looking forward to check that out. Fall Guys has a free update as well.
Fall Guys is on Xbox now, right? I think they're coming to Xbox.
It's supposed to be coming to. I don't think it's out yet, but it's supposed to be coming to.
Mm-hmm. They released the Master Chief skins as well.
Mm-hmm.
They did a new trailer.
Oh yeah.
That it's a spoof of a Halo 3 trailer. I don't know if you remember that trailer that Halo did back in the day, where it was kind of like a model set where they did kind of it looked like a big battlefield.
Mm-hmm.
There's a bunch of model figures and they're kind of all
slowly panned.
Yeah. Well, Fall Guys did a spoof trailer of that.
It's pretty
that
cool.
trailer, which reminded me of that trailer. I was like, oh, so much nostalgia. That trailer was hype.
Yeah, and Elder Scroll Online has
An update coming out.
DLC coming out. I know I said not much is coming out this week, but it seems like a lot because I actually went too much forward. But anyway, Sonic Origins also coming out
This week?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Not to be mistaken with Frontiers. Sonic Origin is a different game.
There's so much Sonic projects.
There's
right now.
so many Sonic projects.
I get confused which is the TV show.
Mm-hmm.
The TV show is Sonic Prime, right? Or is it Sonic Origins?
No, Sonic Origins is
definitely a game, right?
It's pretty much just it's like a compilation of all the old Sonic games, pretty much.
Mm-hmm. All right, Sonic Prime is a TV show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you have, like you already mentioned, Naraka Bloodpoint. There's Fire Emblem Warriors 3 Hopes coming out. Cool. There's a new Disgaea 6 coming out. Oh, that's actually next week, sorry.
Alright, so.
Yeah. Definitely looking forward to Naraka Bloodpoint.
Uh-huh.
Another Battle Royale.
More Asian themed,
Mm-hmm.
Your classic, Chinese
swords, Japanese swords.
Mm-hmm.
Bows, pikes,
magics,
yep,
spells, all that good stuff. It looks pretty interesting. I remember when it was first coming out, it was first talked about, we covered it, and looking at the gameplay, it looks like it's gonna be an interesting one of those because it's, PUBG meets Asian culture meets special powers. So.
Mm-hmm. And the thing is there's a lot of verticality to it, so. Yeah, like we've covered before, you can climb pretty much on anything.
Climb trees, buildings, all that
Mm-hmm.
stuff. And then the character creation looks solid and pretty in depth. So can't wait to check it out.
Mm-hmm.
See what all the hype is about. And if you have an Xbox, you can download it right now. You don't have to wait for the day to come out.
Yep.
You can download it, and then when the day releases, you can play it. So, which is such a good feature for Xbox. I'm glad they, they allow that.
Pre-download, so that the day of you can just play. You just have to
just jump straight in. You don't have to wait.
Mm-hmm.
That's dope. All right, but
there's also a bunch of stuff. I mean, a bunch of news and stuff. But since we're on the talking about Xbox and Game Pass and stuff, didn't even know this game was coming to Game Pass. But the Ninja Turtles: Revenge of Shredder.
Mm-hmm.
We always planned to get the game. There was no question we were going to get that game, and turns out it was on Game Pass, so it didn't cost us a dime,
which is great. Which
was a nice welcome surprise. We're definitely going to cover more of that game.
I mean, we can get into it right now because I absolutely love that game. It's made by the same people
that made
Streets of Rage. Streets of Rage, if you ever played it, Streets of Rage 4, solid beat 'em up, and this one does not disappoint. It actually lives up to the hype for me. Cause this one to me has more move, it's almost like a fighting game. There's a lot of
It's definitely like a fighting game.
There's a lot of different specials, different abilities. And the different characters have different moves. You can tech stuff, you can dodge. As far as the beat 'em ups are concerned, this is one of the most in-depth beat 'em ups I've played in a long time.
It's got a lot of variety.
A lot of variety.
And of course, it's the old school nostalgic Turtles that we grew up on.
It's old school Ninja Turtles, which is great. Loved Turtles growing up and all that good stuff. Most of us are huge Turtle fans. But the cool thing about this is that they bring back a lot of the old characters from the cartoon, but they also tie in characters from the movies as well.
Yes.
Which came out of left field, but it was great. It was good to see. You had your the classic, Rocksteady and Bebop, and then you have the characters,
Krang.
Krang, and then even spoiler alert if you haven't played the game and you care, this much about it, but the final boss is Super Shredder from Ninja Turtles 2.
Mm-hmm.
The Shredder turns into Super Shredder, which is dope. If you haven't seen any of those movies, I'm sorry for boring of this, but for me it was good to see an animated version of that.
Mm-hmm.
Very cool game. And so far, my favorite character right now, as it stands, is April. April O'Neil. She's dope. Leonardo is dope. Donatello is dope. Michelangelo is dope too as well. Those are my top 4, I would say.
I mean, there's also, for those of you who don't know, you don't just play as the 4 turtles. You also have
Splinter,
April, and Casey Jones. I haven't seen anybody play with him though. Is he out already, or is he?
Oh yeah, you got to unlock him after you beat the game. Which, when we're playing with Wolfman and everything, we're playing on his profile, so unfortunately he unlocked him.
Oh.
I thought the whole while I thought I unlocked him as well.
No.
Didn't, so.
I guess it gives us something to do. I guess.
Gives us a reason to play the game again.
Yeah, definitely a solid game. And again, Game Pass, which was completely out of left field for me. Did not see that coming.
But now it's part of the lounge now. It's part of the it's in our lineup.
Mm-hmm.
And so on all our Xboxes, it's there.
It's there, yep.
So
Which we should start doing a better job of like when new games come out, well, not just updating, but like announce them. So like, hey, do a post like, hey,
you can come check this out.
Come check this out. New game at the lounge.
Yep.
So.
Yeah, that's something we can work on for sure. But yeah, solid game. But outside of that, there was a lot of video game news that came past week. IGN was doing their summer of games.
Yep, and of course we didn't do a podcast last week, so we didn't get to cover too much of it, but we're definitely gonna do that now.
Which there was a lot of announcements, a lot of new trailers. Like for one, like Call of Duty.
Mm-hmm.
Modern Warfare 2 is getting obviously it's coming out soon. I think they said, is it November? Like end of month?
That's usually around the time Call of Duty's come out, around November.
I think so, yeah. November, October, somewhere around there. I don't remember the exact date, but they did the usual Call of Duty trailers, as far as showing the gunplay and everything. Graphic wise, it looks pretty much the same, solid, what we expect from Call of Duty. But I'm still waiting to see how it's gonna translate to Warzone. Like what new things are gonna come of it. So, and with Call of Duty, unfortunately, it's you can't expect that to be on Game Pass, unfortunately, because of how their model is set up. But it is gonna be cool to see the changes and the new things that come along with it. Because Modern Warfare 1 was solid. It created, it brought Warzone.
Yes, and it still to this day I think it's
the best Call of Duty that's been out for a long time.
Yeah. The last two that came out were just complete garbage. Mm-hmm. We didn't even bother to get them.
Nope.
And I don't feel like I missed anything.
Nope.
Both games were utterly disappointing. But and then they realized they didn't even bother. They didn't even do, Black Ops or any of that. They was like, nope. Modern Warfare.
It's time.
It's what the people want.
It's what the people want.
So definitely gonna check that one out when it comes out.
Yep.
But cool. Then also on the IGN showcase, they also showed a lot of Xbox exclusives that a lot of people were waiting for, highly anticipated.
Mm-hmm.
I guess let's lead off with that Starfield for sure.
Starfield was, if you've covered anything Xbox, this game has been highly hyped, highly anticipated for years now.
It's actually they've been working on the game for 7 years.
Yeah, like it's been in the works for a long time. It kind of reminds me of Cyberpunk in the sense that it's so anticipated and so hyped, and I just hope it doesn't fall prey to the same stuff.
I'm afraid it might be. Well, I don't think. I hope so. Hope not. But what I will say, it does fall in that category of being so overly hyped that there's no way it can possibly live up to that hype.
To the expectations, huh?
But I still expect it to be a solid game.
Mm.
Because, just what they presented, you finally get to see some gameplay.
Mm-hmm.
The gameplay itself is not like wowing per se. It's not anything you haven't seen before.
Yeah.
But where a lot of the wow factor comes in that game is
the
scale, the exploration, the character creation. The character creation looks ridiculous.
It looks pretty in-depth.
Not just with the physical attributes, then of course, much like, your Fallouts and your games of that caliber, which were made by the same people, you get to dive a lot into their personality and
give them a little bit of a backstory.
And all those things will play into their skills, their skills in the game itself.
Their skills, and when people speak to you as well,
it's
going to change some of those interactions, which is pretty dope.
Which is good.
It's going to be cool to see like how all those things affect the game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and actually being able to create your own ship.
You can create your
build your own ship. Like you can create your own character, yes, but you can build your own ship.
Build your own ship.
And that is fascinating to me. I mean, in most games of this, nature, there's you kind of pick from a few. You can probably change the color and stuff like that. But this one, you can like change not only the look, but how certain things operate, and you can staff it like with a crew.
With a whole crew, I was like,
you can pick people to be in your crew, and they're just on your ship, supporting you and getting things done for you, which is
I think that's like because that's one of the aspects of Fallout, the Fallout games that I liked was getting recruiting, just walking around like meeting people, and then now you can get them to follow you and missions stuff like that. Now this, now they're becoming like a crew, so you're an actual space station now, kind of thing going on. And on top of that, you can also make your own bases on whatever planet you want. You can build pretty much your own little hangout and staff it as well too with people you meet. So it's like it's really cool in that it really is giving you that space exploration fully fleshed out as possible. And of course, a lot of people were, if you were to dig on this game, you'd say, oh, it's
drawing reference to there's been a lot of comparisons to No Man's Sky.
To No Man's Sky, which, I mean, thinking when No Man's Sky came out and when they started working on this game, I could see they definitely drew inspiration from No Man's Sky, which is perfectly fine. Where I feel like this game does better than No Man's Sky is, or hopefully will do better, is people and interaction and story.
Yeah, I mean obviously because No Man's Sky there's not much people to speak to, and if there are, they're aliens and
they're in like
looking people,
space stations, and there's not. The planets are pretty lifeless except for weird animals and stuff.
No, with Starfield, it looks like obviously it's gonna be like a first-person shooter type thing, so you can get into battles. You can there's a little bit of action there.
Yep.
But not only the action, but then like the interactions between all these different people, and it's gonna be across networks of galaxies apparently, with according to them thousands of planets,
which seems just mind blowing. I just hope. My biggest thing is I just hope these planets aren't lifeless like No Man's Sky. I want to see cities. I want to see,
I'm sure they will, but I don't think all planets will.
And that's fine. That's how it should be. That's how it should be. It shouldn't be all lifeless or every planet is full of people. There should be mixture of all different types. There should be planets where it's just completely barren and there's nothing. There should be planets where you're fighting the elements, whether toxic environments, you need special gear to go there. There should be environments where it's teeming with life and it's just cities and futuristic looking, because there is factions in the game, so I would like to see this faction kind of took over this part of the planet. I don't want it to be this faction took over this planet. I want it if it could be a little more like, okay, you can go to this part of the planet, because like when you're flying to the planet, it's like you're flying to the planet, you know what I mean? So I don't want it to be like, okay, like the planet is just, okay, it's just, this whole planet is just pretty much just this. You know what I mean? It should be, I mean, it's asking for a lot, but it should be like, over on this side looks like this, over on this side of the planet looks like this part is barren, like planets are. But I mean, that's kind of asking for a lot. I hope they deliver on something like that.
That would be great.
It's just not, you go to this planet, oh, it's just one big city, everywhere. Or you go to this planet, oh, it's just animals everywhere. You know what I mean? It should be nice mixture. Each planet should have a nice mixture of different environments and ecosystems. I think that would be cool. That would add to the exploration,
I don't remember if they talked about any multiplayer aspects of it.
I don't think they did, but usually, Fallout, all those games never really had multiplayer, and except for Fallout 76, which apparently they're still making content for. But either way, I think I still will enjoy the game. Now that I've pretty much done all I want to do in Elden Ring for the most part. I mean, I still dabble in it every now and again, just for fun. But to get a nice single player game, I guess I'm in the phase of my life where I'm enjoying single player games now.
Yeah.
Because before it's just pretty much all multiplayer competitive type, But I could see me spending hours into this game and just. I think the fun part is just going to be creating somebody unique and then pretty much just living out their story.
Yep. See how they interact in this world, and the outfits for the most part. I thought it was going to be all like spacesuits, but
nope.
There's some variations. You
There's
can
some
do
variations.
some pretty cool stuff. So
you can live out your fantasies of being like a space pirate and going around doing whatever you want. Stealing, pillaging, all that kind of stuff. You can actually get into spaceship, dogfights and stuff like that too. So, I mean, the game, all in all, looks pretty solid. I'm definitely looking forward to it.
Can't wait.
Definitely can't wait. And for an Xbox exclusive too, it's Xbox needs a win. And I think this would be this could very well be a really good win.
For a game of this magnitude, this scope, this scale, to be an exclusive, that'll be pretty dope.
Very dope.
Would be. Another exclusive that was kind of mentioned as well, Redfall.
Redfall, which
finally got to see some gameplay of it. Gameplay looks okay.
It looks okay.
I wasn't necessarily blown away by it.
Yeah.
I'm sure, like, gameplay-wise, it could be a fun, like, multiplayer-wise, it could be, a fun experience. But as far as the overall, gameplay, it was... Because, seeing the first trailer, didn't know what to expect.
So it was like, okay, it looked cool. But now that you know what to expect, it's like, yeah, okay.
Yeah, I get it. It's first person.
It's first person.
So it has some kind of horror elements to it, because, gotta explore these dark areas and things like that. It's kind of like
Vampires,
vampire heck. But it looks cool, the abilities and everything, and how the game actually plays. It's gonna be on Game Pass, so it's gonna
that's the next thing about
we're gonna check it out. So
it's the next thing about Starfield as well. Starfield's gonna be in Game Pass,
which is crazy to think of. It's just gonna be on Game Pass, and you don't even have to like spend any extra money or anything. So interesting.
Xbox is changing the game.
They definitely are, because also announced was that on Samsung TVs now, there's going to be an Xbox app. So you can now, whatever is on cloud gaming,
you can cloud
Game Pass, you can cloud game now on
Samsung TVs.
Samsung TV. Don't even need a console anymore. It's crazy.
And there's a lot of stuff on cloud gaming.
There's a lot of stuff there to be had, so it's interesting.
Definitely a game changer.
Xbox is changing the game. And PlayStation, I think their new thing released this past week as well.
We didn't really get a chance to.
We haven't really checked it out, but we should. Because
being
the lounge, it's only gonna help. So save us a couple bucks.
Yeah.
But yeah. Other games that were anticipated. Of course, we got to see Overwatch.
Overwatch 2.
Overwatch 2.
They showed a little more, and they definitely made some announcements when it comes to Overwatch, in that it's free to play.
Overwatch 2 is going to be free to play, so for everyone that never got a chance to check out Overwatch because of the price point, and it's kind of an old game, so you didn't know why no one wants to spend the money anymore. Now you don't have to. Overwatch 2 is going to be fully free to play, and I think that's a good move on their part, because a lot of people are concerned about the content, saying that Overwatch 2 feels like Overwatch 1.5 kind of a thing. But now you don't even have to worry about it. It's Overwatch 2. You're going to play it anyway because it's now free to play.
Definitely takes the Overwatch experience to more people.
More people, definitely.
So that's to me one of the best things about it, because I think Overwatch was such a great game, and it has so much really good lore behind it. And they tried to bring it out to make it like an esport and all that good stuff, and
the esport used to hit.
It still hits. I think it's still I think it's probably one of the most successful esports now. I mean, with the exception, of course, League of Legends, stuff like that. But it's definitely up there as one of the top esports. And now getting it in front of more people is only going to make it better, because now you're going to have a larger player base. Of course, it is on Xbox, PlayStation, and PC. So, very large player base. Definitely looking forward to getting some friends into it that maybe didn't play Overwatch 1. So that's going to be a good experience.
It's going to be cool to see the different tweaks that they made to each character, and how they're gonna play in this new environment, and the whole comps and everything are completely different now. It's not.
Mm-hmm.
It's no longer 6. It's down to 5, right?
It's down to 5.
Mm-hmm. One tank.
One tank. But yeah, one tank.
2 DPS and 2 support.
I think so. Something along those lines, yeah.
Oh.
But what I do also want to dive into is the because now there's different, like you can upgrade abilities, and there's different variations of abilities.
Yeah.
So now you can have different loadouts for characters. You can characters aren't going to always play the same, which is there's more to learn now. You know what I mean? Everything about Overwatch now, there's a lot more to learn when it comes to Overwatch 2 now. So there's that. But also I'm just interested to see like the different abilities, like how they customizing your character to your playstyle. Or maybe to the playstyle of
what the team needs at the time.
What the team needs at the time, the matchup, all that stuff. I'm wondering if can you edit it on the fly? Is it something where you have to upgrade it? Like even though I might have this move and this person has this move too, maybe mine's a little bit stronger because it's more upgraded. I'm wondering how deep it is, because there could be a thing there where that could be good for the game, but it could also be bad in terms of that pay to win aspect. Depending on how you do it, because again, it is a free game, so they're gonna try to make that money back somehow.
Yep, and they've also done a good job with the skins, so that's.
Yeah, I know. We know for sure skins are you're gonna have to spend money on the skins now, like for sure. I'm wondering if they're still gonna do loot box. I mean, because again, it is a free to play game. Loot boxes, Overwatch is a very. It came out a while back when loot boxes was still a thing. Right now, loot boxes are kind of frowned upon now for a lot of the gaming community. I mean, even though I always felt Overwatch did it the right way. It was one of the games that did it the right way. Are they going to keep that model going forward? Or are they going to do more Game Pass, battle passes and stuff like that? Or both, like Apex. Apex does both.
Yeah.
Apex is another game that I guess does, loot boxes the right way. As long as in those loot boxes it's not boosters or things to upgrade your character faster or something like that, because then that's where it kind of hurts, because then you could just spend a lot of money and
get a bunch of boosts,
max out your character, get a bunch of boosts, max out your character in day one, shitting on everybody. So
yep,
definitely don't want to turn it into a play to win.
Can't wait to check it out though.
Yes.
And then also another announcement real quick. Riot Games are coming to Game Pass,
partnering with Xbox.
Partnering with that, which is huge. And they kind of showcase what they're going to be doing across all Xbox,
platforms,
content, platforms, whatever you want to call it. So essentially, on the mobile front, you're getting Wild Rift.
You get a Wild Rift on all the characters unlocked.
And with all the characters unlocked.
It's crazy.
Stream on Game Pass.
To think that some people actually, paid for these characters.
Yeah, you're getting them fully unlocked. On the console side of things, we're getting Valorant. Valorant. All characters unlocked as well, which is crazy.
Crazy.
I mean, I never really got into Valorant, but if it's gonna be there, it's gonna be free.
If it's on Game Pass, it's gonna be.
Might as well check it out.
Exactly.
It could be,
all characters unlocked.
It could grab me. And there's a couple other games, I think.
League of Legends on the PC side.
League of Legends on the PC side.
All characters unlocked.
All characters unlocked.
It's crazy.
And there's a few other games that they had. Some there's more smaller titles gonna be there. But the fact that Riot Games is now partnering with Xbox, that when that new fighting game that they're working on, Project
L, yeah, when that actually comes out.
Who
knows? It could be free on Game Pass. That'll be great.
So what a good time to be a gamer, huh?
A lot of stuff in the pipeline that just, gets the blood going.
Definitely, for sure. Also, I'll showcase as well, if you're into racing sims, Forza Motorsport was showcased. Yep. And Forza has always been a game that's known for its graphics. Always has some of the best graphics in any games, never mind any racing games. And Forza Motorsport does not disappoint on that front either. But where it's different from Horizon in that it's more of a racing sim.
Yes.
So they pay attention to, there's a lot of realism that goes into it. As far as like, you know,
how the tracks operate in different weather, tires grip, all that kind of stuff.
Yep, all those things are going to be factored in. All the damage on the car, like it's done to like the nth degree on this, so that you know you can get realistic damage, individual scratches, you know, paint chipping off. The video that they showed, you know, it was all no cutaway, just one seamless thing, and it was done with in engine, so you get to see what the game actually looks like, and
it's pretty ridiculous.
Yeah, even though it's over YouTube or whatever, it still looked pretty good. I can't imagine what it's gonna look like rendered on your console. So
yeah, and of course, well, because it is a racing type game, you have pit stops and stuff like that to do. So that's gonna be interesting. You know, it really takes that racing sim up, you know, to
the next level. It'll be cool to see. I still love Forza 5.
Yeah,
Horizon 5. I was playing it the other day, and it's like, oh, this game is still good.
Horizon's such a great game.
Just to drive around is just an experience. I love it.
Yeah, just the fact that it's open world, you can just, you know, you just jump in the game and just start driving. You don't have to, you know, what am I going to do today? Like, while you're trying to figure it out, you can just be driving. Playing some nice music and, you know, enjoying scenery.
Yeah, the game does a great job of just getting you in the car behind the wheel.
As soon as possible.
And a part of me was thinking maybe we should probably set up some kind of racing rig when Motorsport comes out.
There is some cheap rigs you can purchase. I'm guessing the racing rigs, they kind of take up some real estate.
They do take up a lot of real estate, now that I think about it. But
you can figure it out.
If people are into that kind of thing, sure, why not? Or even just for personal use, I just, you know, try it out.
Could be dope. And then other games, Diablo 4 was showcased a little bit.
Immortals is out already, right?
Immortals is out already.
Immortals is out.
I've played a little bit of it on my phone.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I have it on my phone. It's alright. It's alright. I mean, it's
Diablo.
It's Diablo. You know, what more do you want? I didn't get really too deep into it, but you know, it's there. It's Diablo.
Cool.
But Diablo 4 though looks it looks too good to be, you know, a real game. I don't know. I mean, maybe a little over the top, but I mean, the game looks really good. It's, you know, it has everything you like about Diablo in terms of the looting and getting better gear and all that stuff. Gear changes the way your character looks, all that good stuff. Character creation, it's good, solid, deep. What you expect. Things that, you know, really take it over the top to me is things like, you know, being completely open world. Right? Whereas Diablo before, you know, when you have that, you know, that asymmetrical top-down view, every time you go to a different location, it has to load in kind of thing.
Has, you know, specific paths that you can go. But
now it's completely open world.
Completely open.
Still paths, but open world. You're just you know, continuously, you know, exploring this world, which is cool. I like the way you can interact with the environments and stuff.
Yep.
That's a dope aspect about it. I mean, the game looks great. I mean, they're even putting in some MMO elements into it, where there's like world events that can be going on, where, you know, when you're playing with some people, you're gonna need help to other people's help to take it out. You know, there's areas you can walk to that, you know, just like battle areas. So you once you walk over here, you know other people are gonna be over here, and you can just fight it out. You know, 'cause that's also another part of Diablo that people like, is the PvP elements. It just looks like a solid game.
All in all, solid game.
All in all, just a solid game. I definitely look forward to playing it. But the thing about, I mean, with me and looter games like that, you know, it's after a while you kind of get like, okay, I'm good. You know what I mean? But until then, I'm gonna
so that initial pop, we're gonna
ride it until the wheels fall off.
There you go.
And then when they do, we're gonna move on to the next one.
There's so much games to play right now.
So much games to play.
And so much coming out. It's like, it's fun. And even like revisiting old games is kind of fun too. Like recently, we just picked back up Killer Instinct just to.
Killer Instinct is such a great game.
Just to mess around on it, and it's an enjoyable experience.
It really is.
It still holds up.
And I'm surprised I stopped playing it, because way back when Gagan first started, I used to play it a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I remember streaming.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, before when did I stream it? I don't think I wanted to stream it, but then I also did a lot of posts about it on Facebook and stuff. I remember that.
Yep.
But yeah, solid game as well. Killer Instinct. So much nostalgia there as well. And it's like since we've stopped playing it, they've added so much. They completely overhauled everything and
all the characters,
new characters,
bunch of new characters,
new skins, and
all that stuff.
It's crazy.
Still solid game. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the game news and all the thing. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that we didn't get to cover, and obviously we can't cover every individual thing. But those are the things that I think excited me the most.
Yeah,
excited us the most. There's still a ton of game news out there, and there's a lot of other like little trailers and stuff too that I found pretty cool as well. But for the most part, those were the ones that stood out to me the most. And yeah, and of course there was some more Street Fighter 6 stuff, but Street Fighter 6 is just gonna be phenomenal when it actually drops.
Looking forward to that one as well.
So
many anticipated games.
Thank God we own a lounge. Now we can play most, if not all of these.
Can
you imagine working 9 to 5
and call it work?
Yeah, working 9 to 5 and
you wouldn't have time to play these games.
Not all of them, anyway. What a life. Anyhow, with that, we're going to roll right into Fight Talk.
Yep.
And because we missed last week, we'll briefly cover that card. And we're going to go through this past weekend's card. And then kind of get you ready for this weekend's card that's coming up. Which is one fight in particular I'm looking forward to on that card. That's not even the main event.
Yep. And, I mean, like we mentioned before, UFC, they had a kind of a stretch where it was, cards weren't that great. Even the ones that were okay, just kind of because
fell flat a little bit.
Yeah, the stretch that they were on, it was just didn't feel,
It wasn't getting the blood flowing. It wasn't exciting.
No.
But
the last two cards, I wish we got a chance to cover the first one. But I guess we can do that now, obviously. But the card with Teixeira and
Yuri Prohaska.
Let's go into that. Justin Edwards started the card off and looked phenomenal. Looked like a star. Looking forward to seeing more of her.
What else we got? Yeah, we can just gloss over the prelim. We don't need to go so much into anything there. Although there were some decent ones there.
There were some. There
was a lot of Asian fighters that
that stood out.
And some of them were making their debut. But I'm not gonna bore you guys with that. The main things to note from this card is that the Zhang Weili and
even before
Joanna?
the Jake Matthews and Andre Fiallo. Fiallo, he's had more UFC fights this year than anybody. He's like almost on every card,
Yes.
And he had such a win streak, and was making his tear
he was doing his thing, tearing through the division,
and then he ran into Jake Matthews
and Jake Matthews. We've seen him fight before, right? Never looked like this.
This guy looks like
Jake Matthews looked like a world beater. He looks like, oh shoot, out of nowhere, this guy could easily be your next champion.
He was throwing some heat,
and it was all clean technique too. Clean shots. The point, Fiallo was the guy, but he was just, and he showed his durability, but he got overwhelmed a bit coming to the end there. So, but yeah,
definitely a name to look out for.
Keep your eye on Jake Matthews. He's gonna be big in that division for sure. And then Weili and Joanna fought, which it was a good fight up until it lasted, huh?
Yeah, it was. Lasted 2 rounds, and it was solid.
Yeah, back and forth for the most part. And then unfortunately, just the way Weili was carrying herself, I just felt like she was gonna win. But even though I didn't care who won, I like because I like both both ladies. They're both great for the sport. But Whaley just threw a spinning back fist, just caught Joanna a little bit behind the air and just put her out.
Yep.
She fell face forward, and the crowd erupted. Everyone lost their minds because Joanna's never been out before.
She's never really been out. Well, she has been outstruck in the sense that she's been by Rose being knocked out, but I don't know. I Joanna's striking was so good.
It was very good. She looked like Joanna Wall, if not a little bit better.
Like seeing her get knocked out once, okay, that's that's once in a blue moon. But now we've seen it twice. It's like, oh no. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I guess she did the right thing in retire. I mean,
I felt like she had more to do.
She does, but
and the reason why I say that because if you look at, but I mean I guess she's considering that people like Rose and Whaley there, she's probably
exactly. She's lost now multiple times to both girls.
But if you look at who the champion is of that division, she beats the champion. So I mean I don't know if it's a matter of sticking around. I mean I wouldn't announce anything just kind of wait and see. You don't get injured
because that's a fight that hasn't happened yet. Her and
It was what's her name? Cookie Monster.
Yeah, Esparza. Oh no, she did beat.
She beat her. It would have been like history kind of repeating herself if Joanna won.
Yeah,
but
she did beat Esparza. Yeah,
and I think she can beat her again.
She definitely can beat Esparza for sure.
Exactly. That's what I say. Once you see who the champion is, you shouldn't and you can beat him.
But beat Esparza to what? To fight Whaley again? To fight Rose again?
I get it. So yeah, unfortunately, that's it for Joanna. She's done. Hats off to her. Good luck to her in all her future endeavors and all that good stuff. But she's out.
She is out.
And then Yuri Prohaska.
No, well, before that, we got Valentina Shevchenko and Taila Santos.
Which was a good fight.
It's a good fight. It was the most competitive Shevchenko fight we've seen in
ever.
Who knows how many years.
Shevchenko actually was in a little bit of trouble for a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
She controlled her on the ground. I mean, stand-up wise, it was kind of back and forth early. But Valentina kind of pulled away with the striking a bit. But the grappling, Taila Santos was stronger. Mm-hmm. And when she got her down, she kept her down. So it was pretty interesting. It was a little bit, scary for Valentina for a little bit, but she just showed the heart of a champion. And she did what she had to do to win.
And when she did, but even though it was by split decision, some judges felt like Taila won, and I wouldn't be surprised if they do a rematch on this one, or if they just want to, continue to pad the champion, they might just move on. But if Taila Santos wins another, two fights or so, she wins another fight. She's good to go.
She's right back there, yeah. She's always looked like a good fighter, but she looked really good. Mm-hmm. She showed up on fight night, so hats off to her. And now we have a new light heavyweight champion.
Yep.
Yuri Prohaska.
Yep. Yuri Prohaska defeated
Glover Teixeira.
And I mean, it was
as close as
back and forth a fight you've seen in a long time. It was
like after the first 3 rounds or so, I was like, how do you score those rounds?
It was crazy.
It was so close. But what I enjoyed about it the most is that Glover Teixeira was in the fight the entire time. Even though his at some points he was being outstruck by the younger, flashier fighter.
He never gave up for a second, and even when he was in the corner at one point, he was like, "I can beat this guy.
I can beat this guy." Yeah, that's championship heart right there. And after seeing that, I was rooting for him. I was like, I want to see him win.
I honestly wanted to see him win, but it was such a grueling fight, and so.
And he had his moments too.
And he had moments where you just know he's like
a little bit more,
and he would have got him out of there. But he's up there in age. You know what I mean? Honestly, I could say he gave it everything he had. You knew looking at that fight, he gave it everything he had, and he could have won. He could have easily won that fight. Mm-hmm. Not easily because Yuri was no slouch, but Yuri strapped on.
He was he's just so unorthodox with his striking, and he had some submissions too as well. He stepped on. He submitted the grappler pretty much.
Yep. But it was. They were both so exhausted, and the opportunity presented itself, and he jumped on it, and Glover had nothing he didn't have no more fight left in him. Like he couldn't fight his way out of that submission.
Yeah.
As skilled as he is, if that submission was on, in the first round, he would got out of it easily. But after you've taken so much damage and so much punishment back and forth, both exhausted, it's like he didn't have anything left in him, and
he didn't.
It was just over.
But yeah, so now he's a new champ at 205.
And the funny thing is, Glover said he's not done.
Yeah, Glover said he's not done. He'll be back, and like, damn,
that's crazy to me.
That guy is my spirit animal. That he is quite the example. I mean, you can draw so much inspiration from him.
He's the new age Randy Couture.
There you go. Yep. And now Yuri, he got quite the ovation going back to his hometown.
Mm-hmm.
Like people were crying even like I didn't know he was that big of a star, but apparently he is over there. So good for him. He's an interesting guy. He's odd, but in an interesting way. That's why he draws. There's something there he's marketable.
There's elements of him that remind me of Connor.
Mm-hmm.
Because his striking is so unorthodox, and he has all the belief in himself. Like you can't shake this man's tree.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And he's gonna be like that until somebody beats him.
Yep.
Just like Connor. So we can see how long he can be that guy.
Mm-hmm.
Because he would be, even when he gets hit, he's coming back and he's gonna hit you back.
Yeah.
He's gonna hit you back harder. You know what I mean? He's like, he just has this strong belief in himself and this. I don't know.
The will to win.
It.
Yeah. He just has that 8 factor.
Mm-hmm. So I think he's gonna be a good champ. We'll see how long it holds on. Because his striking is so unorthodox, like he fights with his hands down and stuff like that.
He can get hit.
He can get hit, and Glover did hit him.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe now after this fight, he maybe learn from that. Maybe he's a little more reserved.
Cleans it up a little bit. Striking.
But we know that guy's still there. That that unorthodox striking is still there. So.
Oh, interesting. You think John Jones goes back to 205?
It would be nice, but he's been bulking up naturally for so long now. It's like I don't think so. He's gonna move to heavyweight, and he wants to be a solid heavyweight. And
yep, that would be a good fight.
He's lost a few years now off his career just doing that. So it's that or bust at this point. You know what I mean?
I heard a little rumor
that he probably got suspended again, but they're keeping it under wraps. Interesting. I hope not. Because how much more chances can you give one guy, right? And I think that's why. But they're punishing him. He's getting he's not fighting. Because Dana White doesn't really talk about him. Outside of him, Dana White still calls him the best fighter in the world, but he doesn't really say any updates or he's looking good. Potentially this blah 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 blah. Nothing. He probably got suspended from it. Because he's literally out almost more than 2 years now, right? Mm-hmm. Probably suffer another 2 year suspension. In the middle of his bulking up, He's probably back on the juice. Needed some help. Who knows? I'm just talking. That would be terrible. Would it though? And then moving on to this past weekend's card. This past weekend's was such a good card. Was from prelims all the way up. It was another. They tied their record for most knockouts or most finishes on a UFC card, which was 9. Because it was just back to back. I think it's 9 out of 12 or 13 fights. Mm-hmm. So it's great. It was just one after the other, just finishes, knockouts. It was, and the energy in the arena was electrifying. Just top to bottom. From the first fight with Roman Dolidze versus Kyle Dawkins. Yeah, I had a lot of star power on this card too. I'm surprised that this was a pay-per-view card. This could have easily been a pay-per-view card. I feel. True. But it was Dolidze knocked out Dawkins in the first round. Mm-hmm. Then you had Phil Haas versus Darren Wynn, which was Phil Haas. Phil Haas is looking like a world beater now. Mm-hmm. He's throwing those elbows. He has good hands, and he just started using his elbows more now, and his kicks.
He looks like he's gonna be a problem in that division.
His striking is pretty solid.
And him and Cormier got into it a little bit.
Yeah, because Darwin was Cormier's guy,
Mm-hmm.
and for whatever reason, Phil Hawes was like, yeah, he chose the wrong fighter. Like he chose Darren Wynn over him. Like that was not the case. That's not how that works. They were friends going into that. Like you know what I mean? Like
I guess it was after the fight he got
got the
adrenaline flowing and he was
yeah.
just talking smack to DC for no reason. And DC had to kind of pull him up.
Put him in his place. And DC wasn't backing down from him either. Which surprised me. I was like, okay, DC.
Because DC used to be a fighter. And he reminded him like, hey, like you never beat, like you didn't beat me. You know what I mean? Like yeah.
Like he was letting him know, like, your fight was with that guy, and you beat him.
Mm.
Don't be venting that energy now towards me. It's like that was your enemy, that was your opponent. You didn't beat me. You beat him.
No,
so that was interesting.
I thought that was interesting as well.
Then Eddie Wineland, who just needs to retire at this point.
Yeah, he did. He took his gloves off, but they didn't give him they didn't show because it's prelim, so I guess they're kind of like speeding it along. But I did see him take his gloves off in the ring.
Yeah, I mean,
nothing more to prove.
He's been knocked out way too many times.
His last 2 fights, maybe more.
2? Way more than that.
He's been getting
knocked out. I mean, and you know the weird thing is, they say he just signed a new fight, a 4-fight deal, and he's retiring on after the first fight. So it's interesting.
So you're not gonna see him anywhere else.
Oh yeah, if he ever comes back, he has to finish that contract. Yeah. So there's that.
And DC was saying it's like probably the accumulation of his entire career.
And it's obviously. I mean.
And Dominic Cruz was not having it. He was like, nah, he can't tell me he probably shouldn't say that. It's probably just the accumulation of the strikes in this fight. Not his career, but.
I don't like Dominic Cruz as a commentator. I don't even know why he's still there, honestly. I mean, he's smart and he can break down stuff and like stuff like that, but
he's pretty stubborn.
He's stubborn. He's confrontational. He's arrogant, and he just sometimes he could just never let well enough be alone. You know what I mean? He's just always, I don't know. I'm not the biggest fan.
He has a fight coming up.
Yeah, he's fighting I saw it, but I forgot.
I don't remember either. It's not Cheeto.
Zombie? No, I don't know. Anyway, back to this card. I mean, Maria Oliveira looked great against Gloria De Paula. Looks like another Brazilian star.
There was a few Brazilian chicks on this card that were.
We'll get into the other one in a little bit, but Ricardo Ramos versus Danny Chavez. I mean, Ricardo with that spinning back elbow just
shut the lights off.
Just whopped him.
Had the guy looking off into the distance, like
just turned him off.
It's rough. Very, very gnarly knockout that one was.
I mean, Ricardo, he's one of the people I like to see fight. Him and there's another guy that he kind of reminds me of, but anyway, yeah, just solid fighters. Can never go wrong watching those guys fight. Then Jeremiah Wells versus Court McGee.
Unfortunately, Court McGee got
turned off. Like it was just like we said, it was just knockout after knockout, finish after finish. Natalia Silva is the one that had a really good breakout performance.
She sure did.
Everyone was sharing her name in the arena and stuff like that. It was definitely a star there. She won by, and that fight wasn't even a finish. It was a unanimous decision, but it was still such a good fight. Yep. Then you have my guy Adrian Yanez against Tony Kelly.
That guy is a problem.
And they had heat going into it too.
They had beef going into this one. And Yanez just did the thing. Did what he had to do. Threw those hands and threw them plenty. His combinations are so clean and
multiple.
Yeah, he has like some of the cleanest boxing in the UFC. Like
for sure, easily. Yeah. He just needs to stop getting hit as much because he does get hit. If he can clean up his defense, he could be a problem.
100%.
He already is a problem. And then Julian Marquez versus Gregory Rodriguez. I thought Marquez would have won this one because Rodriguez, he's older. He's an older fighter. But he throws with like hammers. Marquez just couldn't take
the
couldn't
hammers.
take a shot.
Mm-hmm.
He was hitting them with some nasty shots.
Very much so.
And then there was another fight, but nothing too much there. But Joaquin Buckley versus Albert Duraev
That was another good one because those guys also had heat.
also had beef.
Mm-hmm.
Duraev was saying, Buckley would be an easy fight. He wasn't really taking him seriously.
He was already making plans for his next fight, and
And the thing is, they train together as well, so they
Mhm.
know each other and all that. So they had that going on, and
Yep.
Buckley got him on there too.
Buckley the thing, and he
Well, because Buckley was just hitting him with some big shots.
big shots, some flashy kicks, which he's kind of known for. That one KO that he had,
But it was actually a doctor stoppage because his eye was just so bad.
yeah. He caught him with a straight punch coming in and shut that eye down.
He couldn't see out of that eye, and the doctor was like, "Yeah."
But it was working its way toward to be
Mm-hmm.
a full TKO. So it was stopped rightfully so by the doctors because there's some damage in there significant, like some broken orbital, some potentially.
It was bad. And then Kevin Holland versus Tim Means.
Kevin Holland. I mean, he was already a star, but this card kind of
Boosted his stock some.
propelled him into the stratosphere because even his entrance, like the crowd was just like roaring for him, and he's coming out like calm as ever, no shirt on, like he's like, I don't know, it was very cool to see, like it's such a big moment for him, and he's just still Kevin Holland, like still himself, like. And his fights, like his striking is borderline sloppy in a sense. Like it's not like
it's very unorthodox, and it's not like the striking that you would see from like a
your traditional MMA fighter,
like a Muay Thai practitioner or anything like
that, or a boxer or anything like that. But he lands and he hits pretty heavy, and he has some good submissions too as well, like which he showed.
Yeah, this was his first submission win actually.
Which he is a Travis Lutter black belt, so.
Travis Lutter, the UFC vet. Most notable fight being knocked out by Anderson Silva in his debut.
There you go.
Still remember that fight. Calvin Kattar versus Josh Emmett was the main event.
Oh, it was that was the main event.
Yeah,
what am I saying?
main event.
Oh, I was thinking about the Cowboy fight, which
Yes.
was supposed to be the co-main, which is Cowboy and Joe Lozon. And it's the second time this fight's been booked, and the second time it's been cancelled. Last month, it was Cowboy had to pull out because of a stomach thing, which he went into a little bit details on it. He, they were blaming it on some tacos, but he said he doesn't think it's the tacos because he had some like after he weighed in, the original weigh-in, not the ceremonial ones, but the other ones. He went, there's this taco place, and while he was cutting weight, they passed it a few times, and it's like every time he passed it, it had a line. So he's like, I gotta go there.
Yeah.
So he went there, had some tacos, and he said everyone had the tacos. Like it wasn't just him. Like everyone had tacos, and he was the only one that was sick. So he think it was some kind of tapioca thing that he ate someplace else that kind of messed him up. But yeah, he had bad stomach, like vomiting, diarrhea, vertigo. So he's pretty messed up. So, but that was last month. This month, it was Lozon pulling out because of a knee injury. A random knee injury where on the broadcast during the weigh-ins, they said it was stomach cramps, but it was obviously a lie. They were just trying to cover for him. Because after he did his weigh-in, he weighed in. Got everything. He sat down and he was, I think, putting on his shoes or something like that, and his knee just locked up on him. Just random, just locked up on him. And they were trying everything. People from the PI was trying stuff. His whole team were trying stuff. They're trying heat. They're trying injections. They're trying everything. But his knee just wouldn't release. It was just he couldn't even walk. He had to be carried out of from after he did his weigh-in. He had to be carried out by his team, and they worked on it night and day.
Just couldn't get it to go.
He said like at first he was just concerned about making it to the fight, but now he's concerned about even walking. Like because he can't walk on it. He hasn't walked since then.
Jeez.
So it's just a freak, random thing.
And Dana White's like, nah,
Yeah, he's not booking that fight again. He says.
because it sucks. I would like to see.
I would like to see that fight.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see that fight, but
because it would have been Cowboys' last hurrah.
Well, according to Cowboy, no. He says he wants to go to 50 fights, and he's 3 fights away. So this would have been after this fight. He wanted to fight 2 more times. So he still has 3 more fights.
All right, let's do it.
I'm sure Dana White's saying the same thing, but he says he's done fighting like the young up and coming guys. He wants to fight veterans or like fun fights, like That's what he wants. So, and rightfully so. I mean, he's kind of earned it.
He's earned it. You don't guys be making a name off of you, kind of thing,
Yeah. So we only got Cowboy for 3 more fights. Fingers crossed. So I'm sure it'll be good whenever they decide to get him something. But yeah, it's not gonna be next month either because he just did 2 weight cuts.
Yep. And he's like,
kind of back to back.
He's like, no, I'm good. Weight cutting isn't fun, people.
It's not. Dehydrating yourself. But anywho, getting back to the main event, we said it was Josh Emmett versus Calvin Kattar. Josh Emmett just hits like a truck, doesn't he?
Kattar was,
taking all of it,
and Kattar had the volume, Emmett had the power.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you look at Emmett didn't look like a winner.
Nope.
He was busted up.
He was his face was pretty busted up, like you said. But he got the nod from the judges, though.
That's all that matters.
I was kind of I felt like Kattar won.
I felt so too.
Because of the volume, but there's no loser. I mean, although I do feel bad for Kattar, like the fight was a one fight of the night. It was just one of those classics.
Yeah.
So Kattar's just a tough guy, man. He's one of those guys that just doesn't go away easily.
But he's been in way too many wars now.
And those add up, huh?
Those starting to add up on him. You know what I mean? He's not the Kattar that I
remember when he was starting out like a few years ago, right?
Mm-hmm. He's not the same guy.
He's kind of battle worn now, and it's only getting worse. So.
And he took a year off before his second to last fight, I think, because of being in a war.
Mm-hmm. So.
And that last fight was a war, and this fight was a war. It's like, damn.
That's what he's known for.
It's not what you want to be known for.
Nope. Busting tough, but maybe too tough. All right, and now moving into this weekend's card, what do we got? I know it's another free card, so it's not a major, needle mover for the most part.
Not even that. I mean, I'm interested as to why that is the
main event.
Main event.
Because there's only one fight that I personally care about. And that's is it the co-main or the third one? The Rachmanov.
Yep, Rachmanov versus Neil Magny.
That's gonna be a huge fight to me. To me, that's your main event. Rachmanov is undefeated. He is as good as Chimaev, in my opinion, if not better.
I don't know how that's not the main event.
I don't know how that's not the main event. But if Rachmanov does what Rachmanov does,
beats Neil Magny, that'll be a big feather in his cap.
100%.
Josh Parisian is fighting as well.
Good fight.
Alain Bordeaux
is fighting. I think
Thiago Moises.
Is Blood Diamond on that card or no? I know he had a
Chris Curtis is fighting. Rodolfo Vieira.
No, Blood Diamond's I know he had a fight coming up, but it may have gotten cancelled.
See him on this one.
It may have gotten cancelled. I think it was probably the card that passed or the one before. I think he was supposed to be.
Their teammates fighting. Carlos Ulberg.
There you go. And are you sure he's not on this card?
I don't see him, but you can see Carlos Ulberg.
Carlos Ulberg is fighting. Yeah, you're right. Oh, and he's fighting your boy.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, I don't see him either. Anyhow.
But this card looks like it's
a quiet one, but
it's a quiet one.
Mark my words.
Brian Kelleher is fighting.
Rachmanov.
IBPC is fighting. Paiva is fighting, but
I want to see Rachmanov have a one of those performances that puts him on the map.
I don't know why UFC is just not pushing him like they should be. Maybe because he's Russian. It's tough to be Russian these days. He's not quite Russian. He's
yeah. It's not Kazakhstan. It's I can't remember. But anyway, I think him against Chimaev would be a great fight. But Chimaev has been catapulted so far above him now.
He's in the stratosphere now.
He has to. Rahman's gonna have to work to fight him. But whenever that fight happens, trust me, that's gonna be your fight. I've been calling for this one for months now, if not years. When that fight happens, whenever it happens, that's gonna be your fight. It's the fight of the year right there. Those are two guys that do a lot of the same things, and neither of them back down. So we'll see. We will see.
And of course, we'll bring it to you guys here on this platform,
the IBPC. Of course, thank you guys for listening. I think that's pretty much covers it here. If you like the podcast, of course, give us a like, give us a sub, drop your comments down below. Let us know what you think. Comment, critique, all that good stuff. Ring the bell, all of that. So, with that, you guys continue to be good to each other. Stay safe out there. IsaacBoyz out.